times we'd like to make a film that wasn't so avant-garde underground that you have to be one thing or the other to watch it, you know. And no doubt we will make, I mean, we make documentaries of our trips abroad, which we just haven't got them together yet. The other guy did it for us. But we have one at Montreal, which will probably be a reasonable, you know, working man's documentary, you know. And we find that interesting. But to get in on that scene where they've had Warhol and anyway they've had Godard, we've got to top them. It's like coming in, there's the Beatles, the Stones and everything. Now, a group today to break through that, the Stones, Beatles, Jethro Tull, everybody that's around now. It's not like when Beatles broke through and there was only, when you look back it doesn't seem there's any competition, there was nothing. But in the film world, they're leaping ahead like shit, you know, just as fast as the music business. And you've really got to top them. You've got to top them. It probably is the fastest medium. And it's no good coming out with another, I mean, we wouldn't be content with making...
What, another Andy Warhol?
No, another Andy Warhol. Just content with making, I can't think of one, Barbarella or something, you know. And it might be good fun, you know, or even 2001, you know. I dug 2001 like mad, but it's not. I think Smile is a million years ahead of it. But 2001 was a beautiful trip. It's the difference between literature and TV, you know. But to get in it and blow the minds and blow the people in the business, and you know, you've got to try and top them, you know. Otherwise, there's no game, you know. You're doing it as a hobby. It'd be great to be on a local cinema, even if it was a small local, because there's a guy that does a film magazine, FIBA. We've got him working upstairs now because he goes around and produces the magazine, then moves on to the next country. He got so hooked on the films, he just got them under his arm, and his whole life is more our films than his magazine now. Now he's been showing them in Denmark, Yugoslavia, just everywhere, and to houses of 2,000 people a night, or 200 depending on what it is. And he's given us the confidence to believe that there would be that many people around to watch them and dig them, you know. And so he's really pushing them like mad. And people like Danish TV are saying we'll give you $50,000 to do anything you like. So we're beginning to believe it now. So we have the choice of either we have to make the deal with somebody big and hope they'll distribute it worldwide, which is the dream, or we have to do it his way, you know, and just let him sort of pound the beat with them, going around with the demo discs. And he does things like put us in every film. What are they called? Exhibition? What are they called? Festival that there is everywhere, you know, and get them in through that way.
But even festival, you know, I really like the idea of putting it on West End, you know, something like that.
Well, that's what she did with Bottoms, you know, before. So she didn't even need Beatle backing to get West End showing of Bottoms. Was a fantastic effort. And to produce films that it isn't such a great event every time a fucking film comes out, you know, that it's just like telly. I mean, if that Smile was on Channel 14 one night, and you could either watch that or the Wednesday play or Coronation Street, then it's not that important. Does it matter whether it's like Warhol or, you know, it's like Dylan said about Britain's too hung up on its singers, you know, let it be less important, the Beatles LP and the Beatles single and the Stone. Let it just get the production get a bit faster and less talk and more sort of fun. And we're trying to make films as fast as we can, you know, and just not get involved in. I mean, I'm always coming up with ideas, you know, because I don't know. Actually, Richard Rauschenberg did it in 1930, you know, because I've only just joined this game.
No, but
apart from that,
ideas.
It's and just great to just be involved, you know, just trying to think of way out things.
Ideas,
you know.
that precisely made those people famous, you know.
It just bloody annoys me. It's like, you know, it really brings me down. I'm always doing it.
I hate to be a drag, but you know, I just always say it.
The thing is, I'm just not the type of person, neither of us are, to do a production of that scale, you know. We haven't got the money to sponsor films of that size.
No,
the Beatles' money is a myth, you know. This is all we own and the houses we've got. Anything else is a myth, you know. We are not millionaires. And if we are on paper, it's a joke, you know. We don't have the money people imagine, you know. And we've got a hard job to break even on the money we're spending out, you know. We're putting into these films and that. We haven't broken even yet on all the films we made.
Very cheaply
and the cheapest kind of film. Because I mean, even Apple didn't want to know about Two Virgins. You know, even now they're not sure. I mean, we've got friends here who dig Life of the Lions and that, but you know, if they're sending out handouts to the press, now they forget all about Life of the Lions and anything like that. And just recently there's been a big EMI meeting, you know, sort of a yearly salesman meeting, and Kenny Everett kindly or otherwise made a record to play to him, saying, like an Apple promo record, and he's talking about James Taylor and the Ivies and all these people that haven't sold half as many records in the States as John and Yoko, but they just, it's as if we don't exist even in our own company half the time, you know. It's as if we don't exist here. And I mean, James Taylor and then only Mary Hopkins has sold more than John and Yoko. And that's the freakiest stuff possible, and much more important than James Taylor's music as far as I'm concerned. And our own company sending its own propaganda out, unless I'm here to catch the fucking the promos going out. It's like we don't exist, you know. So we've got to fight. The fight starts here.
In this clip, John sounds off on his current views about Apple and the rather consistent problem of pulling any real money out of the firm.
A few years back, the Beatles and their advisors made some kind of deal, and when they set up Apple, that 80% of our royalties came into this business, and we can't get it out. It's as simple as that. So anything I earn, which is royalties, is what my main earning, comes into this building which I can't get out. They set it up. I say they, that means the accountants, advisors, NEMs and all that. You don't name them, but just they. Set it up to go public, you know, like with Northern Songs, you know, with no thought of what we thought about it or anything, and we didn't look into it because it was stupid. So here we are with a company that eats our money up and takes it all up, and I haven't had any income for 2 or 3 years, you know. Even in the old days, I used to get a check now and then from Northern Songs or somewhere. I haven't seen any income for 2 or 3 years. All I've seen is outcome.
It's amazing.
You know, and it all sort of goes into this box and never comes out, you know. And the whole business now is to try and get it out. And then if I can get it out, I'll separate, you know. And then all my own earnings come to me, all George's earnings go to him, and etc., etc. Then I can do what I like with mine, and they can do what they like with theirs, you know. But at the moment, all our money is just sort of, I don't know, you know. Oh no, not hostile, because it is partly our baby, you know. It's just, if it wasn't Apple, it'd be something else. All down the line, we've always had these tax experts saying, you better just do this so as you don't get that. And they always sort of tie the money up so as nobody can use it, nobody can touch it, and you get taxed anyway, you know. So we've really got to get out of it first, you know, release ourselves.
Many of John and Yoko's experimental projects were almost strictly autobiographical. Here John describes the couple's work as a kind of living diary of their unconventional life.
You tell me anybody doesn't like reading somebody else's diary.
That's beautiful.
You know?
Right, yeah. Who doesn't write a diary with the idea that it should be written?
Yeah, I mean, who are we kidding, you know? Now the point is, we've made a physical manifestation of our diary. But I mean, every Dylan album, every Beatle album, everything article you write is a diary of where you're at the time, you know. And as soon as you become aware of that, you might as well get down to diary, you know. So we film everything we do, you know, like we filmed the ICA happening the other night, and possibly in November when there's another John and Yoko night, we'll show them a film of themselves watching the last film, you know, like that, and it goes on and on, because that's how...
It's a very honest thing to show, isn't it? I mean, it's the most honest thing that happens then and everything.
Yeah, so it is a diary, you know, but it always has been, but now it's like, it's to quicken up the process, you know, like the wedding album is sort of our heartbeats recorded on these special machines, and this is our next album together, and me shouting Yoko and she shouting John, and it gets sort of vaguely sexy in parts, but then we couldn't get it out quick enough, you know, because of all the hassles. And then Jane Birkin's done this record, because everybody's going to say, oh, they're copying Jane Birkin, you know, and that's the grind of this production, you know, whether it's EMI or ICP or whoever it is, of getting the stuff out as you do it, you know. I mean, it's this night ballad of John and Yoko. I just want to sort of do it right away and not have it a great important event about Beatles single, or just get them out, you know. If we have one, we do it, and it comes out every week. or an album a month or something. A lot of Yoko's work is like that. She's just bringing out a book called Grapefruit, which she brought out a few years ago. I'm just giving her a plug here.
Thank you.
A few years ago, in limited edition, which is sort of poetry and that, but at the end of it, it says, after you've done this, eat it or throw it away. And a lot of her work is disposable work. You know. I think that's how it should be, you know.